All right, so today, Kiara and I are serving on a panel for CIAA. We're gonna be talking about entrepreneurship and development, Baltimore, the things we're seeing. It's gonna be a fantastic opportunity to speak with a lot of different people who may or may not understand what's going on. Before I get started, gotta get my blood flowing, gotta get the juices going so that the creativity is going, and we can impact positively the folks who we're gonna see. We're headed to speak on a panel for the CIAA. We're going to talk about economic opportunities in Baltimore City, development, real estate, and all things that both of us know pretty well. We're excited about this opportunity. Thank you. How are you today? I'm good, man. Yes, sir. You got to get content, you know that.
And, you know, books, honey. Nice to meet you so much. You're so beautiful.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, sis. You can go for the larger nonprofit that's credible and gets it out, but then you got the big fee. Then you can go for the smaller one that doesn't have a track record, and it's like, okay, the risk is, right, you can educate them, you can teach them, you can make sure all the money goes to at the project level, but they might not get it.
We literally don't do it for us. We do it
It's for the buyer.
Firefighter, the teacher.
100%. You gotta get the right approval.
You never?
Yeah, that's what you. They was like, you can
like that
do your own work. I'm like, you see my nails?
I know it.
Brothers here. You all right?
I'm good. I'm good.
Here you go.
Now, anybody got no questions about that? Hey, how are you?
Nice to see you. Nice to meet you. Sharif, introduce.
Thanks for coming.
Absolutely.
No, that's what's up. Yeah, I mean, there'll probably be a few folks from Next Gen that'll pop up in the room today. So if you want to chat with somebody, and then one of my original Next Gens on the panel with me now. So that's how we move.
So here we are at the panel discussion. We're going to go on stage very soon. Very excited to see a lot of our old friends and colleagues in community spaces, political spaces, making those connections and really knocking down those doors, coming up with plans and ideas to help bring Baltimore together. All the different developers around the city coming in one space. Today is going to be good to just have conversations, but it's the activity ongoing. The next couple of weeks and months is really going to prove to be beneficial not only to us, but to the city as well. Super excited about this.
I'm Kiara. I'm from Charm City Buyers. So we've been investing in real estate primarily in Baltimore for about 10 years now. And so built our portfolio and then really saw an opportunity and built a passion around also making sure that people that look like us know and understand how to invest here and shorten that learning curve to getting it done.
Most recently, we were awarded the rights to build 50 houses over by Johns Hopkins Hospital in the Eager Park area. Very excited about this new construction opportunity. We've been on several projects, both residential and commercial, helping out the city and the surrounding areas. My entry into real estate, I've always been entrepreneurial, looking for a different path, a different way to lead myself. That freedom has always called me. From a younger age. So when I graduated college shortly afterwards, 2010, I moved back home with both of my parents. And at the time, I was looking at potentially a house hack opportunity. For those who don't know, it's when you buy a property, you live in one unit, and then you rent the others. So that was a duplex opportunity that was calling me. And at the time, I did not move on it, but shortly afterwards, moved to a different state with my wife. And we jumped headfirst into the real estate game. I'm born and raised from Baltimore. I'm not sure if anybody else on the panel is, but shout out to Baltimore, West Side, Gwynn Oak area, you know. So Baltimore's always been home, and I've always loved what I've seen in the city. I've been in different areas throughout my life. And when I came back home and decided that now's the time for me to positively impact the communities in which I'm from, it was a no-brainer.
So for me, I'm probably one of the unique people that can say, growing up, I always wanted to invest in real estate. So my goal, and when I graduated college, was I wanted to get a dog, and I wanted to buy my first investment property. So we did both in that first year after I graduated. And I have to say, because it's CIAA and because Lincoln University is going to be in the championship today, that is my hometown. So I did wear orange, so let's be very clear. So and the reason also why that's important is the ground that Lincoln University actually sits on was Black owned and was actually owned by my family, which was a town called Hensonville that was started in the early 1800s. And so when I think about development and impact and building community, I also think about the history within my own family on being able to create that and have that, and then have that impact so many other people from there. So that was my personal introduction to real estate and land ownership and building community.
One, every single person talked about not only the need to make a buck, which is real, but also they're focused on impacting the community positively. And so, as the economic development leader, these are the future of Baltimore. So not just, again, getting a rate of return, but that human rate of return that is so important, and that has to be a part of our conversation.
I always say we were too young to be scared. So when we started, we had that level of being naive. We were 22, 23 years old to be able to lean in and just say, well, if I do lose my hat on this, I just take my butt back to work, right? Or I'll just stay, or still have my job actually for the first several years. I've been full-time in real estate for about 6 years now. At the early stages, we were still working full-time, and so it was a side hustle. So we were able to build to a certain level where, then I became comfortable with the risk to jump out and be out there on our own. I think we have to think about the risk, not only monetarily, but what do you risk if you don't, right? What do you risk if you don't take that action, you don't take that risk? A lot of times that is more of a loss than you could ever imagine.
As change agents, which all of us are, one of our jobs, I should say, is primarily to live in a space where there is risk, to lean just beyond the edge and feel that discomfort consistently, because when you're not comfortable, that's where you grow, right? So leaning into that fear, leaning into those risks. So to an extent, we all have to love it, right? We have to look forward to those risky areas, and we do make sure that we're leveraging as much knowledge and information as possible to help minimize the risk. But at the end of the day, if you're not living in that space, then you're not pushing yourself, you're not expanding, you're not growing, and that's what we need in order to make positive change.
Check it out.
One thing that Venroy and Alex and all of us are touching on is that we do not displace. One step that Kiara and I do to ensure that is that when we're building houses and taking vacant properties and making them homes, and we take the market from 200,000 to 300,000, which we've done, we encourage the community associations to share information about tax credits that allow for homeowners to take advantage of the increase in their value, right? So the homestead tax credit will phase in an increase in property taxes over a 10-year period instead of spiking it in 1 year, where you're paying $500, now you're paying $5,000 in taxes. A fixed income homeowner may not be able to afford that. And there are other tax credits by Baltimore City and the state of Maryland for renters, for all types of folks, facade improvements, to ensure that we're not displacing people. So the neighborhoods that we work in primarily are in the East Baltimore area, so Oliver, Broadway East. Kiara and I sit on a board of affordable housing nonprofit in the McElderry Park area, where we ensure that not only are we building market rate houses, but we're also building permanently affordable houses, leveraging a lot of the grants and tax credits offered by Baltimore City and the state of Maryland. Because a true mixed income community, homeowners, renters, affordable, market rate, that's what's needed in order to create vibrant areas, and not just on that side, but also commercial, storefronts, retail, food retail especially, and I'm sure we'll talk on that. But the work that we're doing is not just about building wealth. Yes, that's part of it, but it's also making sure that what we're building are the communities of the future, where folks can live, eat, and play, and educate their students. So the piece of advice I would give myself is learn and understand the law of attraction faster. I firmly believe that what's for me is what's for me, and what's not is not, and that's okay, whether it's stocks or real estate, whatever the case may be. But really firmly understanding and bringing that to fruition. I remember years ago, Kiara and I said, well, yeah, the development stuff is cool, the education is great also. We want to own a general construction company. And now we do, a full service MBE general construction company that's majority owned by Kiara. So it will be a WBE firm also. Right? So like really understanding how the law of attraction works, read those books, The Secret, all those other books, and put it to work.
What I would tell folks who are getting started, I love what Alex said about being really clear about what it is that you're looking to do. But for me, it's set that goal high, right? But still learn and understand how to enjoy the journey. So every day we're doing those houses with a tree going up the middle. And I'll tell you, when I used to be at the sites every day, I'd be ready to square up with my contractors. And so you have to learn how to enjoy that process. And so make sure that each and every day you're taking in action something, whether big and small, to get towards your goals. I think a lot of times we miss that enjoyment of the process that you're going through. And then for what's next, I think for me, is my goal is that through our teaching and all of that kind of stuff, I taught 4,000 people this month about investing in Baltimore, talking about redlining, talking about the power of neighborhoods and the opportunity in Baltimore City. Our goal is that we are doing 2,400 doors in the next 3 to 5 years, so 15% of that 16,000 vacant number. And all of these folks doing part of that is really big. So set that goal high, but also make sure you're bringing people alongside you.
Check it out.
And we've got free classes and all kind of videos on YouTube, walking through properties.
I've watched them.
Thank you, appreciate it.
I'm about
brother.
to tell you, thank you.
I love West Baltimore too. I mean, I think for us, it's about how do we add the value and be able to fill in the gap that people need, and so I'm all about it.
The CIAA panel, Young, Black, and Invested, went very well. The panelists, we all know, it felt like a family coming back together. The questions that were asked by Deputy Mayor Ted Carter was spot on, and the knowledge that everybody shared was top notch. I'm super excited for what's gonna happen afterwards, the next couple of weeks and months, as people continue to collaborate, continue to come together and build a better Baltimore. I think one of the big things that I took away from this panel is that people still care, right? The room wasn't as full as it should have been, but the people who were there were supposed to be there, which is fantastic and great. We had a lot of fun with this panel, and I'm excited for the next one.